answer is always the same. Cared about us, cared about what he or she was teaching, right, and was not easy. Had very high expectations. That is everybody's favorite teacher, automatically. I'm talking to corporations, Edward Jones and Ameriprise. I tell them, if you're in a leadership role and you still recall that teacher, here's your challenge. When you're the leader, when you're the boss, be that teacher. Be Miss Nash. We've all had a Miss Nash, or else you would not be here today. Everybody here had at least one Miss Nash. That's how important it is, and that was decades ago, I'm guessing. Okay, Mr. Puttock for me was, I'll embarrass myself, not you. Mr. Puttock for me was 41 years ago. Last summer, we had a surprise party for his 80th birthday, and I was the MC for it. And Mr. Puttock was there, getting a little choked up, thinking about us. And all 10 guys from our class came back from around the nation to honor Mr. Puttock on a surprise party. That tells you a great deal about the kind of teachers we have here in Ann Arbor, the support they deserve. Obviously now, Mr. Puttock did in fact introduce me at one point for a speech at the Ann Arbor Golf and Outing, and he did point out that when I was a 5th grader, and you will not believe this, apparently I was quite talkative. I know, I didn't believe it either. And he said, he used to have to tell me, sit down, do this, do that. I'm sure if we had ADHD back then, I would be closely monitored, I'm sure of that. But back then all we had was Mr. Puttock, and so he got up there and said a lot of very nice things also. And then I followed him, and I said, when I asked that question from coast to coast, I can answer that question, Mr. Puttock. I said, however, Mr. Puttock, I do have to point out, I will never forget, it's a 10-year-old kid in his class at King Elementary School, him constantly telling me, and because all my papers were about hockey or baseball or football, of course, all about sports. He says, Bacon, you cannot make a living only writing about sports and being a smartass. That is one bet I won with Mr. Puttock. So what else do we have? I learned about the Northwest Ordinance in 1787 from Ed Plum's U.S. history class. Ed Plum is still around at age 88, I believe. He's my AP history teacher at Ann Arbor Huron. I learned about how to write from Bob Glardy, Madeline Thompson, Lori Wojtowicz, David Stringer, and Andrew Kerrigan. And from all my teachers, I learned the craft of critical thinking. So it's pretty easy to figure out what Thomas Jefferson would think with the current generation of politicians who are attacking public education. I can piece that one together for myself. So, here's what we need to do. For all of the Miss Nashes out there who are currently teaching in your schools, and there's Mr. Griffith back there, by the way, an Ann Arbor's fine teacher who grew up in the same neighborhood in Forest Brook. He was an All-American swimmer back in the day, and now, of course, he's a fantastic grade school teacher. All right, 30 years from now, 40 years from now, somebody will be talking about your kids' teachers. Somebody will be up here 40 years from now talking about the next Miss Nash who is teaching now. Miss Nash needs help. We do not support Miss Nash the way we did 40, 50, 60 years ago. And this is your chance to do that now, to keep Ann Arbor one of the finest districts in the world and keep alive the simple dream of Thomas Jefferson to educate all our citizens better than anybody in the world. Thank you. Go Ann Arbor.